and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine, and check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Clothes dryer not drying like it should? Could be your dryer vent. Call Bryant for a professional cleaning. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Power outages can impact traffic lights. If you come across a non-functioning traffic light, treat the intersection as a four-way stop. Learn more safety tips at les.com/safety.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Kim with Midwest Bank. We know there is more to your business than numbers and spreadsheets. For us at Midwest Bank, the people who make up a business matter most. We believe in getting to know you and your business and providing customized banking solutions that help protect your business and help it grow. Schedule a free consultation with us today. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G35609. 93 must trade.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
This is Adam Carriker on the ticket.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, everybody, into Adam Carriker on the Ticket. Hope you all had a glorious weekend. Got a fun show today. It's loaded, as always. What a shocker. All right. So I'm going to be going down my list of how I see the college football playoff seedings actually panning out. I gave my preseason top 25 last Friday. The internet blew up in reaction and anticipation to the show, and then reacting to my rankings. It was It was amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It was everywhere. Okay. But today, we're going to talk about what actually matters the most. Because where you have them ranked isn't that big a deal compared to where you get seated. The college football playoff, 12-team playoff. How are the seedings actually going to go? Who's going to get the first round bye? Who's going to get the first round home playoff advantage? Why is there not more home games as the playoffs go along, especially after? I can almost understand the January 4th, like 4 of the major bowl games, continuing what's gone on for decades in college football, hosting the 4 playoff games that day. But why can't the 4 teams who win those games? Okay, so you're gonna have like the top 4 teams playing each other. Why can't the 2 higher seeded teams get a home field playoff game after January 1st? So right now, if you're a top 4 seed, you're not going to get a home playoff game no matter what you do. But if you won on January 1st, you could possibly get a home playoff game after that. Nope, you play in 2 more bowl games later on. So on January 1st, it's going to be the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach, the Rose, and the Sugar. The host of 4 playoff games. Then the 4 teams that win those games will then play each other in the Orange and the Cotton Bowl. Now we can discuss home playoff games, why not, but this is the actual who's going to get the 1 through 4 seeds, who's going to get the 5 through 12, who's going to be the G5 highest rated team at number 12, who's going to get the coveted number 5 seed. Because if you think about it, if you're the 5 seed, you're probably going to play the best G5 team at 12, which is, and I love Cinderella as much as anybody. I love the G5 schools. I love the underdog story. I'm one of the few people that hates the idea of the G5 schools having their own NIT national championship tournament just amongst the G5 schools, because that's what it would be. It'd be the NIT. No disrespect, but not very many people watch the NIT unless you have a son or a daughter that are really on those teams. People aren't really watching them. Most Nebraska fans that I talk to can't even tell you the year Nebraska won the NIT basketball tournament, 1996, by the way. But most people can't. Everyone watches the big dance. There's a proposed G5. It hasn't gone very far yet, thankfully very much. Okay, and I actually get the impression I'm in the minority with this, and that's fine. I'll live with it. This is a hill I will fight on. I won't die on. Some hills I will die on, but I will fight on this hill that the G5 should still have a seat at the table. Now, the Power 4 teams don't care. Eventually, they're going to get booted out because they don't bring the same revenue, and they're going to have their own G5 national championship tournament, which some people prefer, and it's going to be the NIT, and people just aren't going to be as interested. I don't mean that as a disrespectful statement. That's just my opinion, because I like rooting for Cinderella. I like the underdog story. So the number 5 seed will play, admittedly, probably the least good, least talented team is the number 12 seed, the highest rated G5 team. And then they're going to turn around if they win that game. They're going to play the lowest rated of all the conference champions, which is probably going to be the Big 12 or ACC conference champ, which probably won't even be one of the top 4 teams in the nation when you think about best teams in the country, let alone, they probably won't even be in the top 8, let alone top 4. So you get to play the easiest team in the first round, probably the easiest team in the second round. So that 5 seed, I mean, I'm like, wow, that's like the perfect seed to get. Number 6 ain't bad either. Okay, you're probably going to play like a 3-loss team from the Big 10 or SEC, or you might play a 2-loss Big 12 team, and then you turn around and you play the number 3 seed, which is going to be probably a non-SEC Big 10 champ. So again, not quite the 5 seed, but a pretty nice seeding, if I'm being honest with you. So who's going to get all these seeds? How's it going to play out? I'm going to bust out my crystal ball, give you my predictions, and then they're going to kick the ball off at some point, and none of this will matter. And I'll look back and be like, wow, that made absolutely no sense when I have the benefit of hindsight here in the next couple of months. But for now, it's fun. And who knows? Maybe we get some of these right. Okay. But before I do that, I'm going to give a shout out to Bonzel Pool and Spa. Check them out at bonzelpool.com. Pools, saunas, hot tubs. You want them, they've got them. You have them, need them taken care of. They can do that job as well. Check them out at bonzelpool.com. And actually what prompted this segment, I was just going to chill with the preseason top 25 rankings I put out last week. But I had a couple of Husker fans be like, you look at Nebraska's schedule. The over-unders, 7.5. Adam, you predicted them to go 8-4. Hasn't changed since last spring. I'm sticking with that. Okay, I'm still sticking with 8-4. They're like, but, and I've had a couple of fans, what if they go 9-3? Because I have said I do think a 9-3 SEC team or a 9-3 Big 12 team, Big 10 team is going to get into the playoff as a 10 or 11 seed. Well, what if Nebraska goes 9-3? All right. Let's say they maybe lose to Ohio State. Maybe there's a freshman moment in those first 7 games. Maybe they lose to USC, but maybe they beat Wisconsin. Maybe they beat Iowa. Maybe they end up 9-3. Maybe, can they be that Big Ten team that gets in? So possibly, but they'd have to go 9-3, and I'm not going to sit here and predict that. That would be asinine at this point. Not saying it can't happen, but I'm not going to sit here and predict that. Okay, I feel good with 8-4. I feel very comfortable with 7-5, and 6-6 is the bottom of the barrel of what better happened this year, in my humble opinion. But if they went, again, not predicting that, not saying it's going to happen, but if they went 9-3, they're a Big Ten team. Could they possibly get in? So that's where that schedule that's rather friendly this year for a Big Ten schedule is actually going to hurt us. Okay, so that would be the only problem with that. I think for Nebraska to get in, first of all, people aren't used to Nebraska being in that upper echelon, so that's going to be foreign to people. So you got to do it for a little while before people get used to it, and they get used to voting you back up there again. Okay. There are teams, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I have Michigan as one of the top 10 best teams in the country, my preseason top 25, but I don't have them in the 12-team playoff. A lot of this is due to their schedule. Okay. They have a brutal schedule. All right. But a lot of it is just people, my point is there's so many question marks around Michigan, yet people like myself have them in the top 10, yet they're missing an entire offensive line, new quarterback, new head coach, et cetera, missing all these guys. But because Michigan's been good, we're used to putting them up there so they get the benefit of the doubt. My point is Nebraska is not going to get the benefit of the doubt right now. And that schedule, that is very friendly as far as a Big Ten schedule goes, would actually hurt us at that point. If Nebraska was going to get in, they'd have to be at least 10-2 in my humble opinion. Okay. And who knows? Never know what can happen. But I'm not going to sit here and predict 10-2. I'm not going to predict 9-3. I'm good with 8-4. Feel really good about 7-5. 6-6 better freaking happen. So those are I thought I got a bunch of questions and texts, people asking me about that, and I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. But you never know what can happen. Let's start by beating UTEP. Let's start by getting a little revenge on Colorado, and then we can talk about such things, okay? But I thought I'd just answer that question here on the show, because if I'm getting side texts about it, it's probably a few people wondering about it. I don't think too many people are going crazy over it just yet, since we haven't even kicked off the ball game 1 of this season yet. But I want to get into my top 12, well, not even the top 12, how the 12-team seeding, how I foresee it looking for the college football playoff. And you got to keep in mind I guess they're Power 4. It's really Power 2, let's be honest. The Power 4 conference champs, Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12 automatically get the top 4 seeds. And they automatically get the first round bye. Okay, with the 12-team playoff, 1 through 4 get a bye. And then 5 through 12 play each other. Then those top 4 teams who got the top 4 seeds in the first round bye automatically get into the bowl games known as the Fiesta, Peach, Rose, and Sugar. And they're going to host the winners of the 5 through 12 matchups. Okay, then the winners of those 4 bowl games, as I mentioned a minute ago, will then play each other in the Orange and Cotton Bowl. Not on a college campus, not with somebody having a home field advantage. So if you get a top 4 seed, you're guaranteed to not have a home playoff game. That irritates me to no end. Again, I'm so excited about the first round of the college football playoffs simply because there's going to be some matchups. I actually have a certain duo of teams playing each other 3 times this year as we get down to the Final Four, I don't want to see teams play 3 times. I don't hate rematches, but I don't want to see them play 3 times, but that's a possibility here. But the first round matchups on college campus is going to be exciting. I don't even hate that the 4 major bowl games on January 1st are going to take away college campus playoff games. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I get it. It's upholding that January 1st Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl tradition. Fine, cool, whatever. But how about that next round? When you get down to the Final 4 teams, how about you go back to college campuses and home field advantage? But you got 6 major bowl games now. You got the Fiesta and the Peach and the Rose and the Sugar, so you can't leave the Orange and Cotton Bowl out. So they got to host those Final 4 teams, the last 2 matchups before the national championship game. Personally, I say we just declare the top 4 bowl games. For me, it's real easy. Rose, Sugar, Orange, and then I don't know why the Peach is in this conversation. I don't know how they got into the New Year's 6. There weren't even a New Year's bowl game for decades. Money, obviously. And then you just debate between the Fiesta and the Cotton Bowl. Whichever one, doesn't matter. Pick one. They're both good bowl games. And you have those be the 4 games on January 1st, and then the 4 winners of those games play in the Final 4 matchups, but it's back again on college campuses. So teams that get those first 4 seeds actually have a chance to host a college football playoff game. It's not the way it is right now. It's the way I'd prefer it to be. But I digress. Let's light this candle. How do I see this seeding going? Number 1, Big Ten champs, Ohio State. Okay. And if this is not going to match up with my rankings from last week, because last week it was really about who the best teams were with some of the strength of schedule factored in to a degree, but strength of schedule is factored in big time, because this is actually like how I see this going wins and losses wise. I'm not giving a specific record prediction. I will give some for some teams, but that obviously incorporates the strength of schedule. I'm going to tell you right now, Texas has a way easier SEC path to the SEC title game than Georgia. Georgia may not even make the SEC title game with their schedule in the SEC. I can't believe they were so nice to Texas in year 1, by the way. Big Ten sure wasn't that way with Nebraska back in the day, but I digress. Number 1, overall seed, Big Ten champs, Ohio State, first round bye. Number 2, SEC champs, I have Texas. And I know that makes me want to vomit, but I got to try to be unbiased here. You look at Texas's schedule within the conference. Oklahoma, Georgia, fairly challenging. Beyond that, I don't see LSU. I don't see Alabama. I don't see Ole Miss. I don't see a lot of these powerhouses within the SEC. They do not have the most brutal SEC schedule. They do have Michigan out of conference, a game where you've got a veteran quarterback going against a first-time starter in Michigan early in the season. Texas is going to have such an advantage in that game with all the new that's going on in Michigan. And I do think Michigan will be a good team, but I think there's so much new, and I think their schedule is so brutal. I don't have them in this 12-team college football playoff, despite me thinking that they're probably going to be one of the 10 best teams in the country. That's just not how the seeding works in the college football playoff. So at number 2, I have Texas, and I don't even have Georgia in the SEC title game. I think it's going to be Texas versus Alabama versus Ole Miss versus one of those teams, even though I think Georgia is one of the 2 best teams in the country. But Georgia's got a pretty brutal schedule, and I've talked about it before. So I don't know that I need to go through it again. Okay. In fact, I'm not going to. Check out previous podcasts or shows if you want to see, because I've talked about their brutal schedule multiple times before. Texas somehow got a little bit of an easier slate by SEC standards. And the fact that Georgia has a way tougher schedule, even though I think they're the better team, and they certainly have more proven players than Texas does coming back. Okay, I've got the SEC champs is Texas. And yes, I did throw up a little bit in my mouth, and I do apologize for that because it is Texas, but I digress. And actually, the number 3 seed is a team that I didn't even have ranked in the top 10, but I looked at their schedule, and it's Miami. You look at Miami's schedule. Okay, they start off on the road at Florida, who's got probably the worst schedule I've ever seen a college football team have. And let's just look at Florida's schedule. So they got Miami to start off the year. Okay, but I'm just going to go to their last 5 games. Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Florida State, LSU. So that is 2 teams in the top 5. Let me correct myself. 3 teams in the top 5, 4 teams in the top 10, 5 teams. Their last 5 games of the year at Florida are all against top 15 teams. Holy cow, it's like they joined the NFL. And then they're also going to host Miami game 1. So there's 6 teams right there that are in the top 19. Okay, so good luck to Florida this year. I'm half tempted to say if they go 6-6, they should get in the playoff. I'm just kidding. But seriously, if they go 9-3 with that schedule, which they won't, if they go 6-6 and go to a bowl game, because they're struggling down there and they don't have a great team and that brutal schedule, they go 6-6 and go to a bowl game, they should be thrilled. They really should. But if they went 9-3 with that schedule, they should get in the playoff. That's just my humble opinion. But all right. So the number 3 seed, I have the ACC champs, Miami of Florida. And a lot of this has to do with their very, very friendly schedule. Okay. When you look at Miami's football schedule, they could have very easily go 11-1. Okay, they start on the road at Florida, who is not a great team. Then they got Florida A&M and Ball State and USF. Like, holy cow. Okay, Virginia Tech might actually be halfway decent, but then Cal, Louisville lost a lot of players. I know they were in the ACC title game. Florida State, probably by far their toughest test of the season. Really, their toughest opponents, you can say at Florida because it's an in-state rivalry, game one on the road. So because of that, more so than the quality of Florida's team, I'll say it's a tough game. Virginia Tech at home. Virginia Tech has a lot of players returning, okay? And Florida State. Really, that's it. Miami has such a friendly schedule. I have them actually going 11-1. I do think they're going to be a good team. I don't think they're an 11-1 team, but I think with their schedule, they're an 11-1 team. They win the ACC. I think they actually lose to Florida State in the regular season. There's a rematch in the ACC title game. They win ACC champs 11-1, probably 12-1 at that point. Number 3 seed. All right, number 4, I've got Utah. I do think they're the best team in the Big 12. I do think the Big 12 is going to beat each other up between Oklahoma State with basically their whole offense coming back. You got Kansas State with actually a lot of playmakers. Kansas could come up and be pretty good. Some people got them pretty highly rated. Some people even have them ranked. Then you've obviously got Utah. What if Colorado actually comes up and plays consistent football at all this year? I just think the Big 12 is going to be the most exciting conference. It's going to be a lot of points scored, a lot of close games that go back and forth either way. I think they're going to kind of beat each other up. I think Utah very well could be 10-2, but they get the number 4 seed as the Big 12 champs. So all those teams get a first round bye. All right. So I will give you my 5 through 12 seeds. Well, 5 through 11 seeds. And then in 5 minutes, I'm going to be joined by former Nebraska quarterback, Standing Bear offensive coordinator, Ron Kellogg, so be sure to tune in for that. But here are my 5 through 11 seeds because I got to talk about that 12th seed because there's actually some pretty good G5 teams out there. At number 5, I've got Georgia. At number 6, I got Oregon. Now, I actually think Georgia and Oregon are possibly the 1, 2, 3, first, second, or third best teams in the country. They're both definitely in the top 4 on paper, in my opinion. But Georgia gets the 5th seed. Oregon, I think, beats Ohio State in Autzen Stadium in October and then rematches with them again in the Big Ten championship game. So we'll play twice at that point. But I think Ohio State wins the rematch. So Oregon, probably with only 1 loss, definitely no more than 2 in my opinion, number 6 seed. Ole Miss, who does not play Texas, does not play Alabama on their schedule and is very talented, the 7 seed. Notre Dame, is this the year they're actually good or everyone just continues to think they're good? I've got them at 8. Number 9, the team that had we had this 12-team playoff the past 8 years would have been in 6 times is Penn State. I've got them at number 9, not Michigan. Michigan's going to have a tough time with Texas, a tough time with Oregon, a tough time with Ohio State, and that's assuming they beat everyone they're supposed to. I think there's going to be another hiccup in their schedule somewhere, and they end up around 8-4 this year. I've said 9-3 several times, but I'm amending to 8-4. So Penn State, the number 9 seed. I've got Florida State. Seminole Nation can calm down. They're finally going to get in the playoff. I do think they end up 10-2, and I think they end up the 10th seed. Alabama, insanely talented, but they had a lot of players leave. They are so unproven in the back end. Got a great quarterback, good offensive line, great running backs, brand new everything as far as coaching-wise. I think it doesn't matter what they do this year unless they win it all. No, they're not going to be happy because, under Nick Saban's regime, if you didn't win a national title, you're not happy, and that's what they're used to. So welcome to Alabama, Kalen DeBoer. But I think Alabama is a 9-3 team that gets in. And I think if they're 9-3 playing their schedule, I think they deserve to be in, even if they're the 11th seed. You look at that 12th seed, and I'm going to chat about that here in about 20 minutes. All right, Ron Kellogg is going to join me here after these messages. We're going to pay some bills, come right back. He'll join me. And then I will give you my top G5 team. There's actually some pretty good teams, ladies and gentlemen. Boise State, Memphis, Liberty has a lot of people coming back and an insanely soft schedule. All right, Miami of Ohio. This is their best team since Ben Roethlisberger was there, and they only lost 1 game. UTSA, yes, the Road Runners, meet. They aren't half bad this year. They did lose their best defensive player to Texas. All right, there's some pretty good G5 teams. Who wins? Who is the highest rated G5 team and gets into this college football playoff is actually quite intriguing to me. And I just hope, if they're matched up with Georgia, good for luck, but I just hope they represent the G5 well, because if they don't in the next 2 years, we only have 2 years. 3 years from now, there is no college football playoff set up yet. Nothing is set up. I know they've talked about 14 teams, but all they really figured out was the revenue for the 14 teams, not actually how it's going to look. If they don't do well, they may be excluded. So I'm rooting for them for several reasons. But there's some pretty good G5 teams. So I'll go through who I think is going to get in, and then I will go through who I think is going to win each matchup and who the eventual national champion will be. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pay some bills. I'll talk with Ron Kellogg right after this break.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Friday, Man United beat Fulham 1-0. On Saturday, Arsenal beat Wolves 2-0. And then on Sunday, Man City topped Chelsea 2-0. Today, Leicester City plays Tottenham at 2 p.m. for the final match of Matchday 1. Catch all these matches and more at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and Peak.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big.
To learn more, volunteer or donate, go to bbbslincoln.org.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at the lnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Power outages can impact traffic lights. If you come across a non-functioning traffic light, treat the intersection as a four-way stop. Learn more safety tips at les.com/safety.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Tune in this Thursday, August 22nd for Early Break live from the brand new Ruhlman Steakhouse in Ashland. We'll sample food throughout the broadcast and show off the newest steakhouse in the area this Thursday for Early Break live from Ruhlman Steakhouse in Ashland.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to Oak Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Carriker on The Ticket. I'm excited at this time to be joined by our special guest. Now, this is a man who won the was on the Brooke Behringer citizenship team, was the offensive scout team MVP in 2009, which is honestly something that stands out to me. He was a Nebraska Student Athlete Hero Leadership Award winner in 2012, the Tom Novak Native Son Award winner in 2013, and again on the Tom Osborne citizenship team. From Omaha West Side, former Nebraska quarterback, Mr. Ron Kellogg. How you doing, my friend?
Great. How you doing?
Dude, I am phenomenal. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. So one of the things, there's a whole bunch of things I want to chat with you about. Well, I want to start right off the top. All right, you're from Omaha West Side. You walked on at Nebraska. You had opportunities to go to other schools. What made you choose coming to Nebraska, and how much did it mean for you to stay in state and play for the Big Red?
Probably the biggest thing was just the atmosphere, the Husker fans, the whole tradition of what being a Husker football player meant to the state. I think it really solidified me when I went to a quarterback camp going into my senior year. I ended up winning the MVP trophy for that camp. And just all the love and the excitement that the coaches had made me feel like I was at home. The conversation with Bo Pelini, how he was straightforward, didn't really sugarcoat a lot of stuff. My parents really enjoyed that. They wanted somebody else that would hold me accountable while I was out of the house. And so just being able to watch games as a kid and then have the opportunity to actually participate and play on the same field as so many different legends was hard to pass up.
Now, something that sticks out to me, because I remember when I was on scout team, and you played a ton of games as a senior, and I got questions about that. But I remember my true freshman year, redshirting, being on scout team. That's a challenging thing, okay, to go to practice every day, to run plays that are on a frickin' card. And it can be a challenging thing to get up and be excited about that day after day after day. It's easier for some people than others. But you won offensive scout team MVP. And I'm not going to lie to you, my eyes went straight to that, okay? So what do you attribute that to, and how, like, if you were to be able to talk to some of the guys who are going to be on the scout team this year, how important is the scout team for Nebraska as they get ready for each opponent each and every Saturday?
It's the most important part of the week. So to think that if you're on a scout team and think you don't matter is so far away from the truth. I think once you realize that all the preparation that you put forth to replicate whatever position you're playing for that week, to give the defense or the offense a great look, will only help the team as a whole. And so you have to realize how important you are to that aspect of practice. And I just got fired up every day because I knew I was doing something that was going to help our defense. And it was really cool to see in the beginning of the year, maybe a sprinkle of black shirts. And then once you got to the end of the season, the whole darn team was in black shirts. And so it was kind of terrifying. So for me, I got to put myself in the shoes. I got to put myself in the shoes of the opponent quarterback and just sit there and be like, wow, this would be intimidating for a whole game. Plus I had Sue that I was going against and Prince Amukamara. And so it's like, I was really being beneficial to these guys, more so than an annoyance. I think the other part of it that made me really enjoy it is it was something I did when I was a little kid. I would go out, watch games on Saturday morning, and I would try to replicate Troy Smith, or I try to throw like Colt McCoy. And so I kind of already had that in me already. And so just to be able to showcase that and feel like I was being beneficial to the team just made that transition a lot easier.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the year that Ron redshirted was 2009. So he was facing that 2009 Nebraska defense every day in practice. All right. Now, as I mentioned, you played a ton as a senior. You became one of the leaders on the team. Now, Taylor Martinez was a senior as well. You had the quarterback incumbent to be Tommy Armstrong coming up. Obviously, Taylor missed about 4 games that year. He was banged up a little bit with the toe. What was it like for you, kind of trying to be a leader on the team with Taylor being a senior, but he's banged up, and then you got Tommy as the freshman getting some reps, getting to play in some games, and here you are trying to be one of the leaders on the team. You're playing a ton as a senior as well. Talk to me about kind of what that was like for you.
For me, I was the middleman. So you got this, there's 2 starter scholarship guys, and I'm the walk-on guy who later gets put on scholarship. So I just wanted to be the person that was trying to be consistent as much as I can. It was a situation where we would, kind of split series, which was kind of difficult sometimes because you're sitting on the sideline and then you don't know necessarily when you're about to go in for your series. So just trying to be as even-keeled as possible, but at the same token, taking what I was doing earlier in my college career, which was, signaling, being on the headset, being on the sideline, trying to, give my 2 cents if it, mattered at all. But just to be like a person that you could come talk to or say, hey, I've noticed this, maybe take a look at this when you go out in your next series. But at the same token, I knew Tommy was going to be the guy that was going to be the leader for the next 3 years. And so, a lot of opportunity for us to bounce ideas off each other and support each other. I just thought it was a unique experience for me. And it really showed, what translated from my early years at being in Nebraska and just being patient and being in that position where, your number might come up. So you have to be ready for that opportunity.
All right, let's talk about the Northwestern game your senior year. Okay. The only Hail Mary touchdown pass that led directly to a Nebraska win in Husker football history. So you completed a 49-yard Hail Mary touchdown pass to redshirt freshman Jordan Westerkamp at the end of regulation. All right, now you finished the game 7 of 13 passing, 114 yards with the 1 TD. But what was that moment like? And I remember, the helmet came off your head, it's in your hand, you're running around, hands in the air, you're screaming, you're celebrating. Obviously, the team's going crazy. But talk to us about that moment and just how cool that was.
I mean, first of all, I didn't even think that moment was going to happen because in the first half, I threw an interception and I got chewed out on the sideline. So I didn't think that second half was going to happen. But 2-minute was like my favorite thing, and I was pretty good at it. And so I had a sense that I might go in. It was kind of real when both said, hey, get warmed up. And so I just didn't want to be the person that was the reason why we lost. So I tried to make sure that I did all the right throws to get us into a field goal type situation. I was shocked and very happy that they called timeout so we could change our game plan a little bit to do that Hail Mary. But all I remember was trying to throw the ball as far and hard as I could and not take a sack. And then I fell. I threw the ball so hard I fell on my face. And, people bring that up to me all the time. And I joke with them about, I didn't even get to see it. I was in the turf. So what made me get up and run away with like that was the fact that when he did catch it, the turf on the field actually levitated off the ground. And so it kind of scared me a little bit in the roar. And so my only reaction was just to run away from a dog pile. I had nothing to do with the dog pile. Wanted nothing to do with that. So, and it was the day after my birthday. So it was kind of like the icing on the cake for me. So it was a ton of different emotions showcased in one. And the only way I could express that was running in the opposite direction.
Still one of the coolest moments ever. And bringing up dog piles, dude, I hated dog piles for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so that doesn't help. And number 2, just things would happen under there, and I couldn't see who was doing it, so I don't know how to get back at it. I just didn't like it, man. So I understand running away from the dog pile, plus you're celebrating, obviously.
Yes, I'm in the same agreement with you, man. I just didn't feel comfortable being dogpiled on at all. So Jordan Westerkamp got to experience that. A couple of my teammates got to experience that, and they actually ended up feeling what you were feeling with the claustrophobia.
All right, so I don't know if you were at A&M for this game, and I'm the guy that will ask any question that I think needs to be asked. You answer this however you want. Maybe you weren't even there, and then we'll move on. But the whole Taylor Martinez, Bo Pelini, all that stuff at the A&M game, were you there that for that game? And if you were, what do you feel comfortable sharing or not sharing?
I was at that game. That was my first time ever traveling with the team. All I remember was we were playing. I looked at the sideline. I didn't see Taylor. There was confusion. Then a couple series later, you'd see Taylor again. And then I was down on the opposite on the sideline, but you could hear Bo having a Bo conversation with Taylor.
A Bo conversation. I
know,
love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
A Bo conversation, which is usually the pictures on Google. If you want to try to find that, is a finger point with a slightly opened mouth, usually some big red numbers in there. And so outside of that, I tried to stay far away from those type of situations as possible and just be an onlooker. So that's about as much as I can give you in that. Yeah.
All right, that's cool. All right, so you do a lot of things within the community. Okay, feel free to share anything that you're doing within the community. I know you're the offensive coordinator for Standing Bear High School's football team. This is going to be Standing Bear's first year playing varsity sports. So obviously I got to ask you about that. Now, for those who don't know, they do not have a senior class. So obviously they don't have as many players. They're obviously missing seniors and things of that nature, but they're going to play varsity sports this year. So as you enter Standing Bear's first year playing varsity football, I mean, I don't even want to say the word expectations, but what are you kind of looking for this first year from your offense and from the team as a whole?
The biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is just our competition level. We played a little bit of, freshman JV games last year, and so it's kind of a big jump going into straight varsity. But over this past summer and this first couple of weeks in August, just seeing the tremendous growth from our athletes and our coaching staff really buying into the fact that we take on what comes next. So play after play, what are our responsibilities? What is our job? What's our role? And how we can execute that. The biggest thing for me is teaching our kids the why behind our offense. So instead of just showing them a route and you run this route, why are you running this route? And how do you run this route against certain coverages? I think everybody puts all the expectations on our quarterback, but it's the whole team. It's a team sport. It's 11 kids. So if everybody does their job and the responsibilities correctly, we can be successful and, go from point A to point Z, which is the end zone. Outside of that, I think being able to create and establish a culture with this being our first year in varsity is a huge and wonderful opportunity for us. We can really set some great foundation for all the future classes that come in after this one. And so I'm just really excited about the opportunity to participate with Standing Bear, be the offensive coordinator, but then also put some great, film out there and let our kids be able to have fun, but also execute the entire time. And so outside of that, that's like my evening job. But my day job, I'm a CLC community builder. I'm also a part of a state task force for youth fitness. We are trying to improve youth fitness here in Lincoln. So we've created a sports league within our CLC programming, which offers free team sports for our CLC students across the 20 elementary CLCs. And so I'm just excited for not only building our high school youth, but also building our future generations for whatever high school they go to in the elementary realm.
Yeah, if people want to help contribute to what you're doing, whether it be with all the high schools in the area or with the youth in the area, is there a place that they can go? And if they want to get involved or they want to help contribute or just help make an impact in some way, shape, or form, where can they go to do that?
Oh, for sure. They could email me. My email is at rkellogg, 2 L's, 2 G's, just like the cereal, at lps.org. I could be in contact with them. They could also go to our CLC website, which is clc.lps.org. They can also find information there. And then there should be a big report that comes out here next year about the stuff that we've been working on with our task force. And really what we're looking for is anybody that wants to do donations. We are playing in soccer, volleyball, basketball this year. So shoes, soccer cleats, shin guards. We are also offering opportunities for coaching for both soccer, basketball, and volleyball, and our running program as well. And so if you are the type of person that has free time from about 3:30 to 4:30, and you want to work with youth and teach them the rights and wrongs of the different sports, we would love to have you. And we also have opportunities for repping as well.
All right, that's absolutely phenomenal. I got one last question for you. It was interesting. I was chatting with somebody watching Standing Bears scrimmage on Saturday. I was like, you do realize they're going to have 22. This is going to be a fun year this year, but they're going to have 22 returning starters a year from now. That's kind of a cool thing. I don't know that everybody can say that. So that's going to be fun to look forward to. But here's my last Husker question for you. All right, sure looks like we're going to have a true freshman starting a quarterback this fall. All right, probably Dylan Raiola. I'd be flabbergasted if it's not at this point. Got a lot of good players in that room, but it seems to be Dylan. What are your thoughts, having played quarterback at Nebraska, obviously played a ton? What are your thoughts, and what can people try to expect from a true freshman? What's realistic to expect from a teenager, as he starts his first ever, Husker football game in the near future?
Right. For me, the big thing that I just want, if it is Dylan Raiola, try not to be Superman. There's already a bunch of big expectations on you being the Husker starting quarterback, especially as a true freshman. We see the videos of you working with Patrick Mahomes, private quarterback coach. You going to train with Patrick Mahomes. So just take each game as it comes, take each series as it comes, take each play as it comes, and just play within yourself and do your job. That's the big thing. The second thing is I think we are going to see growing pains, so we have to be patient at the same time, be supportive. Because what I've seen from spring games, what I've seen from spring practice, the guy's it. He's got it. So I think if we can allow him to have the growing pains, that will only help him be as successful as the years go on. And so I'm really excited for, to see him participate and play and do his thing. But I'm also really excited for year 2 of the Matt Rule football program, because usually I watched your top 5 things for Nebraska this season a couple days ago. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that the second year for Matt Rule is usually a big year. And so I'm very, very pumped for that. And I'm also really excited that we are doing stuff for turnovers. So holding people accountable, taking care of the pill, because that's the most important part of the football game. And it's a lot of the reason why we lost a couple of those football games last year. So all in all, patience is the big thing for me. And I think we'll see some truly successful things happen this season.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Good luck to you with everything you're doing in the community. Good luck this fall with the football season, and I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone here, again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear your lot is packed with new and pre-owned cars again. I know everyone would love to hear all about it. Please tell us all about it.
Thanks, Charlie. It's taken some time, but we have more than 150 new Hondas in stock right now, with hundreds on the way, including over 30 new Ridgelines in stock right now. But we've been telling everyone now, Charlie, is it's really cool that someone can come in and look at a new Honda and drive away with it that day.
That's great. Like you said, it's taken a while, but now there are hundreds to choose from. How about pre-owned, Andy?
As always, Charlie, we have over 100 to choose from, all makes and models, with prices starting at under $10,000.
Well, maybe it's time. You come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hay season is a race against time. Win that race with an all-new 1 Series round baler from Landmark Implement. The all-new John Deere 1 Series round baler is a revolutionary leap in baler technology that captures near real-time moisture and weight data that can be analyzed through Operations Center to improve your bale quality and farm efficiency. Are you ready to upgrade your hay equipment? Contact your local Landmark location for full details on the new 1 Series round baler and experience the Landmark difference.
The Link Grill Draft and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
The kicker from Iowa, I don't know. What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name?
What's his name?
What's his name?
Help me!
No, you need to give the name for your
I
boy.
don't know.
Tory Taylor.
Tory Taylor.
Yeah, and you didn't say that.
That's what I meant.
That's how you said.
But I said Iowa.
But you didn't get the guy's name.
But what does
We're
that
asking
mean?
for the name.
I gave the team and the player.
You did not give the player. You gave the team and the position.
This is a cheat.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Summer concerts keep rolling at Pinewood Bowl with a great show on Wednesday, August 21st. Blue October headlines a trifecta of artists with Switchfoot and Matt Nathanson starting things off. Don't miss Blue October, Switchfoot, and Matt Nathanson on Wednesday, August 21st at Pinewood Bowl. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for The Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Adam Carriker on The Ticket. All right, we're going to have to move fairly quickly to get through my whole college football playoff, how it goes, who's going to be the G5 team that gets in. All right, let's light this candle. Oh, also, reminder, Carriker Chronicles returns this Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, August 25th, this Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time this Sunday night. Also, find everything ticket-related at theticketfm.com, also on all the social medias, the Tube of You, YouTube, Amazon Prime, etc., etc. So my 12 seed for his college football playoff. Now, there's a whole bunch of teams that could possibly be in for this. App State is always a dangerous team. Always got to keep them in mind, okay? So they're a possibility. Boise State has more returning starters than any other team in the entire G5 ranks. All right. Also, they got a former number 1 overall recruit transfer from USC, who's going to be their backup quarterback because he lost the quarterback competition this offseason. So Boise State's going to stick with their starting quarterback, a man that they're familiar with, Liberty. All right, bringing back their quarterback, bringing back a lot of their players. They got a pretty easy freaking schedule, if I'm being honest with you, but I do not think that they are even in the top 3 of the best G5 teams. If they get in, it's just purely schedule related. Memphis basically return all their starters on offense. They return 10 starters. Okay. By the way, they also picked up Tennessee's top rusher, and they picked up South Carolina's top tackler. So they're going to be pretty good. Tulane's always a team to keep their eye on, but I think they're in a little bit of a rebuild. UTSA, who knows what could happen with the Road Runners. To me, the 3 teams to watch out for are Liberty. Again, that's purely schedule based. All right, Boise State, who I actually think is the best G5 team with everyone they have coming back. All right, but I'm going to go with Memphis, and it's a schedule thing. Boise State plays Oregon in week 2. Memphis has a couple of challenges, but of all these teams outside of Liberty that have the best opportunity to go undefeated, it's Memphis. So I'm going to go with Memphis. I think they're the second best G5 team, but I think their schedule is a little friendlier than Boise. So your first round matchups, Georgia, number 5 seed, hosting number 12, Memphis. Number 6, Oregon, hosting number 11, Alabama. Number 7, Ole Miss, hosting number 10, Florida State. And number 8, Notre Dame, hosting number 9, Penn State. Now, let's not overlook a couple of things here. According to this model, the Big Ten gets 3 teams into the college football playoff. I could see a scenario where they get 4. Again, I did not include Michigan. Michigan could easily get into this. Some people think USC could go 9-3, 10-2. I have no idea what to make of them, so we'll see. I had them at 8-4 in my preseason prediction. But the Big Ten has 3 teams in. The SEC has 4 teams in. The Big 12, 1 team in, and that's Utah, because they're going to be the conference champs per my prediction. So I'll probably be wrong. But I think everyone else, Arizona to Kansas State to Oklahoma State, and if Colorado is just halfway average, like I think they're just going to all beat each other up in all these high-scoring close games, and you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. The ACC, I think, gets 2 teams in. I think Miami goes 11, 12-1. I think Florida State ends up 11-2, 10-2, and they both get in. Okay, the group of 5, I've got Memphis in, and an independent team known as Notre Dame. At some point, they won't get to have their cake and eat it too, but a topic for another day. Just think about some of these matchups. Oregon and Alabama in Eugene. That's going to be an electric atmosphere. Ole Miss and Florida State. I remember Ole Miss hosted game day a few years ago. Katy Perry was there. Those people were going bananas. They're dying for a top-tier college football team. Notre Dame and Penn State. The game of the no helmet sticker game. But I remember watching, it was like early to mid-90s. Was Ron Paulus the Notre Dame quarterback? And I was such a young kid. But they played, I'm pretty sure it was in South Bend, Penn State, Notre Dame in like a snow game. And that's all I remember. I don't remember who won. I don't remember anything else, but it was a snow game, but it was Penn State, Notre Dame, and it was a great game to watch. That could happen again in South Bend. pretty good matchups. Now, who I have winning, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think the way this is seeded is always going to create a lot of upsets. Again, I think Georgia and Oregon are maybe the first, second, or third best teams in the country, and they're playing teams that are not top 5 teams. So I've got Georgia over Memphis, Oregon over Alabama, although Alabama has the talent to play with anybody. I just think Oregon's really freaking good. Ole Miss over Florida State. I do think that can be an entertaining game. Notre Dame over Penn State. Yep, I pretty much went with the higher seed every time, and part of that's the way this seeding is set up. I accept no responsibility for that, but that's okay. The bowl games, Ohio State, number 1 seed versus number 8 Notre Dame, if this all pans out, which it won't, but that's okay. Number 2 Texas versus number 7 Ole Miss. Again, the 4 major bowl games on January 1st that these playoff games will be played at are Fiesta, Peach, Rose, and Sugar Bowl. Then you got number 3 Miami, host to number 6 Oregon, number 4 Utah, number 5 Georgia. So the winner of those games, I have Ohio State beating Notre Dame. I have Texas over Ole Miss, an SEC matchup. All right, and I've got Oregon, who's going to be favored, but they're the lower seed, beating the higher seed Miami. And then Georgia, in what may be a closer game than some people think, because I think Utah is pretty physical. They play good defense, and they're pretty darn good if Cam Rising can stay healthy. But I've got Georgia beating Utah. So the final 4 matchups, number 1 Ohio State, number 6 Oregon for the 3rd time. Number 2 Texas versus number 5 Georgia. And again, Texas is only rated higher because their schedule is a little easier than Georgia's. But I have Ohio State and Georgia winning those games, and Ohio State playing Georgia in the national championship game. And if you go to my preseason rankings, I have them 1 and 2. I have them 1 and 2. I think this college football playoff is going to be insanely exciting for 2 or 3 years. And then we're going to find out there's really only about 4 teams that have a chance to win this thing realistically year in and year out, barring the random upset. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun until we get trained mentally that, hey, the 10, 11, 12 seed don't matter all that much. All we did was devalue Ohio State, Michigan at the end of the year. Again, I'm not a big fan of the 12-team playoff. It has its perks, but it's diluting other things that I value in college football that I don't have time to go in today. I've hinted at in the past. So I'll just give my champ. Ohio State and Georgia. Georgia, talented, but not as veteran-laden. A little bit more unproven. And if you watch the national championships, champions of the past 2 or 3 years, especially Michigan a year ago, it's the veteran teams that come back on a mission. And Ohio State's roster may be just as good as Georgia's. The only difference is they're more veteran-laden. They've got question marks on the O-line. They got question mark at quarterback. How good can Will Howard throw it? Georgia has gigantic question marks on their D-line. No team is without flaws. You never know what can happen. I'm going to go with Ohio State and the Big Ten winning its second national championship back-to-back, 2 for 2 the past 2 years because of the veteran returning leadership on that team. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great Monday. Have a phenomenal week. And until next time, go Big Red. And always remember to throw the bug.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic